this video, we'll go over what to expect and how to take down the Puppet-Devouring Green Monster, who can be found in the Chapter 8 Barren Swamp biome and is the toughest boss you will have fought by a long way. So, due to that fact, I strongly recommend summoning in a Spectre at the Crack's Calling, as this is an incredibly tough two-phase battle where you need to defeat the boss twice, the first of which is very tough. The second phase is next level. Now, the first phase will see you come up against a very powerful opponent who is incredibly fast, can burrow underground before uppercutting you into the air, then coming along with a few more attacks. It can spit out Decay all over you, as well as slap you around with its tentacles, again inflicting the Decay status. Now, the worst part about Decay is it doesn't really hurt your health, however, it will absolutely rip through your weapons, so if you've got any urgent repair tools, or especially a grindstone, make sure that you use them as quickly as you can, whilst you're also getting rid of the Decay status. Now, initially, the boss will be called the Green Monster of the Swamp, and it is weak to fire, so make good use of that as well as your Fable Arts. Avoid the rampages. When it races up, get underneath its legs, and then try your best to avoid the Decay status. Obviously, if you do get the status, get rid of it and just focus on repairing your weapons rather than yourself, as if your weapon breaks, you're pretty much going to die anyway if you need to go into your inventory. Now, fire works incredibly well against any Decay-based enemies, not so much against the Green Monster, but it will still deal increased damage, so make good use of any element that you can except for acid, and of course land those fatal blows which will just rip chunks off of the Green Monster. Now, once you've taken down the Green Monster of the Swamp, which we're going to be doing here in a second, the Green Monster then basically morphs itself into the deceased Scrapped Watchman, who's the boss that you would have fought all the way back in Chapter 2, and both of them combined will slap you back to the Stargazer in seconds if you give them the chance. Now, the big problem with these two-phase fights in Lies of P, especially the one against the Green Monster of the Swamp and the Puppet-Devouring Green Monster, is all determined on how well you did in the first phase. If you've really struggled, used up all of your pulse cells, used up a lot of your consumables and your throwables, and then you try and go in and take down the second phase, you're probably not going to be able to do it. So make sure that you're very efficient in the first phase to then stand a much better chance in the second half. Now, in the second half, this guy will basically turn himself into a steamroller. He will charge around the arena, inflicting incredibly heavy damage, as well as doing those overextended ranged tracking attacks where he spins his arm around as the Scrapped Watchman would have done to you in Chapter 2, except this one hits with a lot more power as well as inflicting Decay. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I died more to the Puppet-Devouring Green Monster than I did to all other bosses previously combined, and I've died a fair few times there as well. So the only way I could take the win without summoning in, obviously I'm doing this one without using the Crack's Calling, I just wanted to try and get it done for the footage, was basically just to throw offensive weaponry at the Green Monster to then finish the fight. I'd completely run out of pulse cells. Now, don't try and be frugal in the second half. You can always go off and farm more gear once you've brought this thing down. However, if you die, you're then going to obviously be a little bit ticked off. Try not to rage quit. Get yourself back in there. Learn the attacks. Learn the placement. Make good use of your Fable Arts. Replenish them as soon as you can. Keep your weapon repaired. And hopefully your health won't diminish too much. But unfortunately, this is one of those brick wall fights that you are going to have to become proficient at, even with a summon, in order to be able to take this beast down. Now, once you've done so, reward-wise, you're going to get the Puppet-Devouring Green Hunter's Ergo, which allows you to create an amazing special weapon with Alidoro. You're also going to get the Golden Ergo and 15,985 normal Ergo. So let's look at how best to take down the Puppet-Devouring Green Monster in Chapter 8 of Lies of P. If you're a fan of these quick, straight to the point guides, subscribe for more and I'll see you on the next one.